Well, hey, folks. It's Real Honesty with Jonn, Ritland, and...
The Dominator, goodbye.
And, yeah, by the way, that's the end of the Elimination
That's how short
Chamber.
the predictions video is probably going to be.
It literally 5 matches have been announced. I think the tag titles are officially announced. They weren't on the wiki page, but WWE announced it on their page, so is what it is. First, we're gonna tackle the Ronda Rousey contract signing. Stephanie's going to appear, and that's going to set up a match. It's a bad idea. Hey, Ronda, I'll bring my husband.
You want to see the worst work punches in Shane McMahon? See Stephanie McMahon. She'll probably slap.
Yeah. Darren Young left the company.
I know.
Last year. Okay, good. All right. You're right, though. Yes.
He's had a lot of days off.
For being Mr. No Days Off. No, seriously, seriousness, good for him. That hopefully he can, have a great career. The Ronda Rousey contract sign, I have no interest in this. None.
Yep.
I mean, look, I hope I hope she succeeds. I hope she dives right into it. But
it's going to be a rough start, so give her a chance.
Yes.
But considering that not only does she have an MMA career, she also is an actress, which means she knows how to throw a worked punch.
As opposed to Shane.
Who does not.
Yes.
Well, at least we'll see what her in-ring worked punches look like.
She could run the ropes better than Shayna, because Ronda would probably actually run the ropes.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can, because your work punches are killing me.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember that. But that's probably what's going to happen. Stephanie's going to appear.
Yep.
It's going to set up the contract sign. Yeah, whatever. I'm for having, and this is just fancy booking for a little bit later, I'm for having Braun as Ronda Rousey's partner. Or as you call them.
Ronda.
Yes. Because it would play on the Triple H Braun face-off at the end of Survivor Series.
Yeah, in case you forgot. You shouldn't have, because it gave us one of the best moments of Braun Strowman.
Just him yelling at Triple H.
And Triple H like,
I made a mistake. Steak, yay. Now we have the Bar versus Titus.
it's not about the hands, but how you get them.
Also, never mind. Don't Google that, by the way. The Bar versus Titus and Apollo.
I am going to go with Titus and Apollo, because let's keep in mind, they wouldn't have removed his surname if they're not going to be doing something with Apollo.
This is true.
Because if they wanted to distance themselves away from that Cruz last name due to Parkland,
or due
which
to
is
whatever.
serious business, they would have just relegated Apollo to the background for a long time. So, the past few years.
The most over he was when he faced Dillinger. Take over.
Given the fact that they're willing to devote the time to change his name up, I'm expecting him to do something. However, as much as I'm pretty sure Apollo's going to take this so that the Bar has a reason to go to SmackDown or something like that, I don't think the crowd's going to be behind it.
I don't think
as much as they should be behind Apollo, but
and Titus to a degree, not Dana. Dana's had enough men behind her anyway. Not apologizing for that. You're right though. I'm not saying they're going to win the tag titles. They could win by DQ or countout and carry it to Mania, because you only have at that point a few weeks to carry this whole thing.
Yep.
But the Bar winning straight up does nothing.
Straight up. Police.
Considering we're talking about 2 black guys, maybe that's not...
Black people can be police. I don't know where you come from necessarily, but
just
where I'm from, seriously. Oh, yes, you're from upstate, of course, huh?
Yes, yes, just upstate, yeah, so the ritzy part.
Yes, of the toilet reservation.
Tulip. So, that's how some people pronounce it. But anyway, I have Titus and Apollo winning. They may not win the tag titles, but they're going to win by either countout or DQ. This is a feud that has some legs in it. Whatever. But they need to either have a resolution quickly or add another team to it.
Or they need at least a genuine tag team in the division again that isn't relegated to the background.
Like the important guys like Revival.
Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
Even have Slater and Rhino maybe jump up. I'm not saying they're legitimate, but you have people that could be... They could be part of this. Anyway, Titus and Apollo will win. May not win the tag titles.
And they may just be experimenting to see how it sticks. If the crowd likes it and they back it, because they should back Apollo, because he's actually pretty goddamn good.
At the wrestling.
Yes. Maybe,
Yeah. I'm for it.
Not waste Apollo like you wasted Casero.
This is true, and not waste Apollo like the waste of a movie, Apollo 18.
Yes, quite.
Right.
No.
Matt versus Bray. I have Bray.
Matt.
There's really no reason behind any of our picks. Well, I mean, maybe with you.
For me, they need to get the Woken universe over with the rest of the crowd. Because the people who don't know about the TNA stuff, or people who didn't watch TNA...
Because it's rubbish.
I mean, I did watch it, and I kind of stopped not too long after the main event Mafia.
Yeah, well, that's about the last time it was any good.
Right.
There were some good feuds in 2012.
But in the end, I do enjoy Matt Hardy's character because I think it's fucking brilliant.
It's ridiculous.
It is the absolute peak of lunacy that you need in WWE.
Right.
However, this feud has to keep going, but there needs to be something that kicks off on this match. There needs to be a change, a discourse, something that shakes it up, like Jeff Hardy returning and siding with Bray Wyatt.
I like that. No, I like that. I do. Mm-hmm. I really like that idea because he turns Brother Nero against,
Because Jeff Hardy didn't come in as Brother Nero.
No. He came in not as Victory Road Jeff Hardy.
Thankfully.
That makes everybody sad.
He came back as the Jeff Hardy that most WWE fans knew. So we're going to see what happens because it's even been mentioned that Matt Hardy, when Jeff was talking to Matt about him getting a little unstable again, like saying we got past this.
Yeah.
It's going to be Jeff Hardy who might just turn his back on Matt.
And that's true. And you could always revisit this later. I only have Bray winning because I don't know if they're fully invested in this whole thing going with Matt. And also 50-50 booking. I mean, Matt, I know Bray beat Matt on the Raw 25 anniversary. God, that show was just a mess.
If wins and losses don't matter, then produce a soap opera.
Which is essentially what some of TV has been, especially SmackDown, because Road Dogg's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about Raw. I only have Bray winning just because I don't really have any investment in this. I hope that it will maybe lead to a non-finish, like they beat each other up and tackle each other off the stage or something like that. Side effect off the stage through something, and you lead to a great war that goes maybe a compound a little bit later.
There needs to be...
advancement.
The button needs to be hit to make this explode. And this is the best opportunity to do it, because if you don't capitalize now, everything else afterwards will feel like a fart in the wind.
Yeah, I mean, or like, Josh Matthews on commentary. Now, so that's what we have. So now we have Asuka versus Nia Jax. If Nia Jax wins, she's added to the Raw Women's title at Mania 34. Now, it doesn't mean that Nia
But that would also end her undefeated streak, and right now it's just not the time.
No. Unless Asuka gets beat up outside the ring and the ref doesn't see it and she's counted out or gets DQ'd for some reason, I think she would get counted out.
But that would still end her undefeated streak.
That's true.
Which
you can't have.
No, not yet. Nia doesn't have the momentum behind her.
No.
For the crowd to believe it. It doesn't mean that they need to back her on this, because if she's going to go in as a heel, for instance, she doesn't need the crowd behind her in terms of popularity, but she needs
the crowd to believe it.
Yes. And if you can't suspend your disbelief, it ain't going to work.
Asuka will win. It will be competitive. It will be better than the match that they had years ago.
Because Nia's developed a lot since then.
Nia had my problem is stuff aside with the gear and whatever, it's just the stop-start stuff with Nia has not really helped.
Yeah.
Asuka is the one to push, and I don't care who watches this that says Nia should have won the Women's Royal Rumble. You're wrong. Yeah. And you know who you are.
Nia, who was the Iron Woman of that?
That was Sasha.
Exactly. What have they done with Sasha?
Made her hair look ridiculous.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nia should have been the Iron Woman of that to show that she's got the endurance to keep up, because remember, she's tapped out to everybody who's been beaten by Asuka at this point.
That's true.
And when you're tapping out rather than just getting pinned,
especially
that doesn't make you a believable star.
Or a believable monster.
Yeah.
But so Asuka's going to win. It'll be decently competitive. If they end Asuka's undefeated streak now, it'd be ridiculous. I mean, they've never done weird shit in February, like when they had Bayley beat Charlotte on an off Raw.
Hey,
When was that pay-per-view that Jinder became champion?
That was Backlash last year, May of last year.
May. Oh, I thought it was February.
It felt, well, no.
It felt like an eternity, but
February was when Bray became champion last year.
Oh, yeah.
And it was 7 weeks, and right?
Good times.
Yes. Asuka will win, though. And then,
Oh, yeah. Asuka, she's beauty, she's grace. She'll punch a hole into your face.
I would be into that. Alexa versus Bailey. Versus Mandy versus Sonya versus Sasha versus Mickey. Sasha's hair co-starring. Raw Women's title for the Women's Chamber. Alexa's winning.
Alexa does need to win. She's going to win by shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
But she'll win.
Yeah. And she should.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff of talking about how she has to defend her title in the Chamber, but Brock doesn't. You built up this whole thing with Alexa. She tapped out on Raw. She doesn't need to be beat. Right now. I mean, if you want to have Alexa...
She will be. I'll be honest. She's a great talker.
Her wrestling's decent.
Yes, but she is mid-card, in-ring, and not top mid-card.
She's also still developing.
Yes.
I agree with you.
So,
100%.
We will see what happens with that. I don't think she's anyone who'd ever need to be relegated to being low-card or valet or whatever, but she's right now, her in-ring skills are not top-notch.
No, she's got the persona down.
You don't need to be top-notch, and that's why she's lasted this long, but it's nearing time, but I don't think it's there yet.
No, and I mean, but she has been champion and long enough to where you have her win here, you have her go to Mania. If Asuka beats her, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, which Asuka should beat her. But I'm just saying, it's like, even if you had Nia suddenly say, lose here, but lose in the match on the Chamber, but then win another number one contenders match and have a 3-way, fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. Yeah, 4-way, technically, since Nia would be in there. But, what? She's not like most girls. You knew I was going to say something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. But Alexa will win.
I cannot contain my disappointment in you. I'm sure you're used to hearing that, but still.
It's funny, we were just talking about 6 women in one match, and we're talking about disappointments that I've had.
Anyway,
right. So we have Alexa, and then we have Rollins versus Balor versus Miz versus Cena versus Reigns versus Elias versus Braun. Reigns.
Braun.
You have Braun winning?
I have Braun winning.
Go ahead.
Well, who's the most over with the crowd?
That would be Braun.
Okay. Who has proven himself to be the strongest?
That would be Braun.
Right. Who has overcome every obstacle that they've thrown at them, the thing that they tried to do with Roman that never worked?
Is this Cesaro?
No, it's Braun.
Oh, right. Okay.
Braun has literally gone through everything that they tried to put Roman through, except Braun does it convincingly.
Yes. Despite all that, Reigns is going to win because they're determined to give us Reigns versus Lesnar again. We don't want it, but it's going to happen. I want Braun to win. I want him to be right.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he has walked all over Kane and Brock. He has walked over Roman and Elias and Seth.
And Cena.
He has beaten everybody on the roster at some point or another. Mm-hmm. He hasn't beaten Brock in a match, I don't believe.
No.
But he has beaten Brock.
Yes. And it was great. So...
And they could have quite a slugfest and be able to take that.
And it would be good to see Braun beat Brock and actually have a convincing champion. Because I'm sorry, Reigns just won't be.
I mean, he could be a convincing champ, but they need to do something with his character.
It's been 3 goddamn years, Chris. It's not fucking working. You're right. It's just not fucking working.
Yeah.
But they need to tweak his character.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tweaking, I'm still thinking about Asuka. Anyway, so those are our predictions. A little bit longer than we expected. But do you agree? Do you disagree with what we said? And mind you, we're recording this before SmackDown, so if any other matches get added, cool.
Yep.
Anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter links, thumbnail for that guy in the description. It's been Real Lawsuit with Jonn Ritland and
The Dominator.
And we will be back with a SmackDown review.
Yes.
Right. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No, you don't. Stop that. You're not a snake.